Hey, it's Ty from X Afternoons. I am sitting here with Juno-winning artist, Guinness World Record holder, Aysanabee. Thanks for coming by, man.
Hey, thanks.
We'll just get into this. We're going to have a little performance from you in a bit, so I got a couple questions we're going to rip through you and see what you think. 2024, no album release, but then you come out with Edge of the Earth. What's the highlight been since that album came out?
Oh, man. You know what? Touring it and doing this tour and just being able to kind of give life to every album. Like this is my first headline tour, but it's like, we play like 100 shows every year. So it's kind of weird to kind of say it's the first headline tour, but it's the first time we're going on road and just being able to like build the show from like the ground up and kind of present these songs the way they're meant to be presented. So like that's been really cool. But yeah, I don't know. These songs have been getting some radio play, which has been really cool.
It sounds great on X, man. I
Hey,
really love hearing Edge of the Earth.
Well, we were around for a festival, and I remember I came early, and then this taxi driver picked me up, and he's just like, it's late, it's in the night, and like I put my guitar in the trunk and like hop in, and we're driving. He's just like, "Are you a musician?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You like do that full time? That's like your job?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, like I used to play music. That's so cool." And like this goes on for a minute, and eventually he's just kind of like, "Stop! Like, would I have heard any of your music?" And the coolest thing happened, which like doesn't happen ever. Like I was just like, it's actually on your radio right now."
That's wild.
I was like, this is so cool. This is like the coolest I felt. Like,
Did he turn it up?
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm in the car with a celebrity," and I'm like, I'm like a middle class artist, medium famous.
Not in that moment, man. You were the peak. That's huge. Tonight is your show. You're playing with Ashley Ghostkeeper. What is the fundamentals of bringing in local acts like this on a tour been like? Like that seems like it's gonna be tough.
It has been a labor of love for sure because like it's crazy. Like I put a call out for local Indigenous artists to open up every show along this whole tour, and in the bigger cities, like there's just so many artists that it's like so hard to like narrow it down. But like when you start getting into more rural areas, it gets a little harder. But like the applications have been absolutely insane. Like, when we started this tour back in February, I played a bunch of shows in the north, like where I'm from, Northern Ontario, and we were playing in exotic Dryden, Ontario. Mm-hmm. And I got this application, and it was this woman, and she was so charming. She's like, "I'm Baron May's manager, and I'm also his mother." And it was just like such a sweet thing, right? And it turns out, like I just asked people to send like a paragraph about why they make music, and then I did a deep dive. But this kid, like he has the voice of like a Teskey brother. And he writes great songs, and he's like a really great performer. He's 17 years old. And then, on the other side of the country, Hasatuk opened up Campbell River, and, my first communication with her, like she didn't have cell phone reception in her First Nation, so she had to like hop in a canoe and go into like the middle of the ocean to like go and have communication. So there's like
Wow.
the range and the artistry, and it's not just genre specific. Like we've had country music, we've had hip hop, and like it's across the board, and it's just people at different levels of their careers, but all doing such incredible things.
Well, it's good. It's good that you're doing it and you're putting a spotlight on them. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
I know you're on tour right now and you're doing a ton of these interviews, right? So I want to ask you some questions that hopefully you've never been asked before.
All right.
And I want to clear up some of the Aysanabee lore.
Oh, there's lore.
Yeah. So I'm just going to fire some things at you.
Yeah.
And you explain to me what they are, or if you can be like, that's not anything. Where'd you get that? Do better research, you idiot. How difficult is it to manage your own Coachella during COVID times? And was there any highs doing those shows compared to performing live?
That was like, in the time of COVID times, I hosted this online music festival called Coachella, and I think a couple of the hardest things were like the sound on social media wasn't always the best, and it would be real choppy, but also I found when people would like play, like it'd be really quirky and fun at first, but then after a while, like you finish a song and it's just like silence and you're just staring at your phone. And you're like, oh, okay. But
It seems like it was a grind to do those. Like
it was, but it was kind of, the first few were fun. It was like I was able to kind of just put a call out and then just like hang out with people like over social media, and like a ton of people would tune in. But I think it only went through like maybe 3 runs, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm good.
Man, like, and then now probably it just feels so much better to be out there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, true or false? Liam Hemsworth has seen you perform.
True. He came to the Bovine Sex Club in Toronto, and I didn't even know he was there. Then somebody, like, we were loading out, and someone's like, "Did you see who was at the bar?" I was like, "No." Like a Hemsworth brothers. I was like, "What?" I like walked in. I sat down. I was like talking to him. And I was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, like I've been shooting a show in like Hamilton." So, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And we got to chatting, and then I eventually took my phone out, and he was just kind of like, "You don't have to do that, man." And I was just like, I don't think I'm ever going to see you again. I know maybe it was like a little rude, but like I was just like,
I heard the Hemsworth brothers are all like both really nice. So.
Yeah. It's like just like honestly, just look like a regular dude. I was like, oh damn.
Is practicing music in a camper with cats a good idea? And also, why is it maybe not the best idea to heat it with a propane tank?
Yeah. I it's a good idea. Great audience, really attentive.
I heard that's how you would practice singing back in the day.
It was. And never used propane because I was always worried that it would, I would be poisoned in the night or something. So I just had a really big sleeping bag.
That's wild. And how cold did it get there?
It got really cold.
So I've heard you talk about the Prospector times.
Mm-hmm.
That's been covered, so I don't want to ask you about that. I got this one. You tell me if this is true. Nintendo call centers exist.
Yeah.
And you worked for one.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I moved to Winnipeg, and I was going through some life changes, and I was like, I need to get out and go somewhere. And I went to Winnipeg.
I've been there.
And I lived there, and I worked at this landscaping thing, and like it was fine, but like, I didn't really have any friends there, and like, I eventually got laid off, and then got a job at the Nintendo call center, where suddenly like half the class were musicians, and
cool.
We would go out to open mics, we were doing all this stuff. But yeah, there was a Nintendo call center where like I'd get calls and like sometimes just walk people through a video game.
That's so wild that exists. Like I tried to look up more info on that. Could not find anything.
It's mostly like the little number you get when you're like, oh, like my Wii controller's broken, and then you like have to send them a new one or something.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was me.
That was really that was really a thing. You've done a lot, Aysanabee, but as someone myself who has a rejected TV pilot, tell me about shooting a music video for an unaired television pilot called Unsigned near an overpass, and how does it feel to make the music videos you're making now?
Oh man, it is cold. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it was very cold. I definitely was happy there wasn't like a lot of zooming in going on, because I definitely had like a runny nose, and I was just like, oh, it's freezing out here. And sorry, what was the rest of the question?
I just want to know, like, how does it compare to the music videos you're making now? Because like that seemed like it was just so early days.
Yeah.
And then now I've been looking at your music videos. I saw the one in studio there that you did. It was beautifully shot. You get your shades on and everything. You're looking in your element. And then I compared to the one for Unsigned, and I was like, this is them just putting their all into it. It was incredible.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and it's awesome to work with like different directors now who like have, you just kind of spitball ideas, and then they kind of have this vision and can like execute it in the same way that like we will be writing songs. Like that's kind of our lane. So it's like it's awesome to be able to work with somebody who you can kind of explain concepts to, and then they just like dream up these ways to execute those. So. Yeah, generally, I definitely like to do more performance videos. I'm still getting used to like concept music videos where I have to do any acting because I'm a terrible actor. So.
Me too, man. That's why I'm in radio. I was asking the Hives about their music videos, and like they always have such high concept ideas. I'm like, I don't know where you come up with it, but go for it.
Yeah.
I love a performance video as well. You can get some good shots. I got one more question for you, and it's more like maybe you can give me some advice, okay? Because we always get second place for our podcast we do. I'd love to have you on it sometime. It's kind of like this, but there's no prep questions, and we just hang out and have drinks. We've been runner-up twice. We lost to Jan Arden. We've lost to a true crime podcast. And then I was reading about back in the day, if I'm saying this correctly, Centennial College, a CLE, a talent competition. You got second place. Is there anything good that comes from second place?
Yeah, I think I got like $150. But like it was wild because I was working, and like I had to like run, like I had to drive back to town. And because I was working in the bush, and like I remember like running in there, like my shoe fell off somewhere, and I like couldn't even find my shoe, so I just like ran through and like went on the stage with like one shoe. But yeah, you know, I think second place is nice. You know, it's like still get a bit of acknowledgement, you know, and it's like still room to grow. And it's just fun. I don't know. Music competitions in general are such a funny idea of music as competition, but
I think also for early like artists too. I'm like, okay, I guess like whatever. But you got the Juno. Clearly,
Yeah.
I think it keeps you hungry. Like, you know, I just find every time I get second place, I want to win. So
yeah, no, definitely. Because there used to be this. There's this event in Toronto called like Newsapalooza, which is like a battle of the media bands.
No way.
So when I worked at CTV, I played in like a band with Lisa LaFlamme, who's actually like a jazz singer, right? And so she'd be singing in between the broadcasts and stuff. And like I had worked at a different company and started a band for Newsapalooza, got laid off, didn't get to play the show. So they called me back and they're just like, do you guys want to play again this year? And I'm like, oh, I don't work there anymore, but I work at CTV, like maybe we can have a band. And they're like, yeah, just let us know. And like I found this guy in graphics, and he like put the band together in like a week, and we had like a 14-piece band, and like everyone had to work at the company, and so we went there and we played, and it's just at the Opera House in Toronto, and it's like 700 journalists just like having way too many drinks, and like it's a fundraiser. And so we get up there, and I play the first couple songs, and I'm like, I'm going to bring up a special guest. And, like, Lisa comes across the stage, and, like, everyone loses their mind. And she does, like, a Maren Morris song, and she does, like, Proud Mary, like the Tina Turner version, like, just to a T. And people lose their minds, and we get off, and we're like, man, I think we're going to win this. Like, this is pretty sweet. But then the National Post had a band called the Conrad Black Sabbath.
Oh.
And so like they get on, and like Iron Man starts, and then like Smoke starts, and like I guess the singer's daughter was like a cosplay artist because he walks on with like this crazy mech suit, and like I am Iron Man, and then like someone takes off his helmet, he gets a mic, the beat changes, and he just starts rapping, and then like the lasers are going, and then like we're just watching this being like, maybe we'll get second place.
That's such a good story, man. Aysanabee, thank you for coming by, and congrats on all the success you've been having on this tour. Go buy his album, Edge of the Earth, and he's going to do a little performance for us. So
Amazing.
We'll play that next.